Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before starting, subscribe and like the videos, it really helps a lot. The content from this video are taken from the web novel and manga series of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Now please enjoy the video.
He also expressed gratitude to Sylphy. His life had been saved. The actuality of the thanks was in the appreciation of the fact that only one person had died. To be granted revenge against the colleague guardian magician Derek, those feelings were a plus. From the start, Luke had long thought the guardian magician Derek to be a disgusting guy. Though a little bit of time had changed those thoughts. While Derek was a magician, he had sacrificed his body to stop the assault of the Terminate Boar. That was a man of proud character. If not for him, and the appearance of Sylphy, the princess would have only had death to look forward to. And also if Sylphy had not appeared, Luke would also have died. Anyhow, because bringing weapons into the garden was forbidden, Luke was swordless. If there had been a sword, then at least if Luke was not able to win, he still would have been able to let the princess escape. Because of such circumstances, Luke had a favorable regard towards Sylphy. Be that as it may, by all rights, the splendid position of the princess's guardian magician has been filled for generations by upper nobility. To allow an unsophisticated girl to suddenly be ushered into that role is a difficult thing to accept. It is completely possible for the children of the upper nobility like himself to completely despise this one. Whatever the decision is, I will obey it. Therefore, Luke said that even if he didn't approve of it, he would not oppose the decision, and closes his eyes in a non-committal manner. This matter caused a bit of a fluster among the nobles. Setting aside their own desires. Even if the princess is pleased with Sylphy, Sylphy might not hold the same feelings towards the princess. The hunter's daughter, a victim swallowed up by the metastasis. Even with that fact, from there on there would be friction with the princess. For example, the others of the first prince faction were likely to take advantage of her. When considered, by no means would Sylphy be permitted to be near the side of the princess. The reason being, that all Asura nobles are malicious. Supposing, if Sylphy was just a village daughter, having no power at all. And in addition to that somehow it was allowed. However, the existence of Sylphy had exceeded the category of village daughter. Having intermediate class chantless magic, even if there were some crude bits of commoner, she also understood the importance of etiquette. Her existence was a mystery indeed. I wonder, where in the world did you learn etiquette at? In my village. I had been accepting instruction from a kind person called Lilia-san. Lilia. The moment that name appeared, Ariel's impression improved further. Lilia. I remember her. When I was a child, oneself was presented with a person which defended myself. She was a maid of the Imperial Guard. And then the impressions of the nobles worsened further. The Imperial Guard maid of the Inner Palace. The story of her becoming unable to work due to injuries, and the story of her dismissal had been heard before. Mostly it was slips of the tongue that talked about secretly dealing with someone who knew secrets from the Inner Palace. Lilia had escaped to the Fedoa region. Lilia-san. Ah, she served Rudy's father, whose name is Paul. Paul, you said. The new name appeared. Paul notice Greyret. If one speaks of Paul, it is known he is a man famous for being a bad boy of the Notice family. There were rumors that he held a grudge against the former head of the family as well. A maid of the Inner Palace, taken in by the absconded son of upper nobility, instilling etiquette in the user of chantless magic. This was too good to just be left to chance. To the nobles, who are absorbed in schemes, it was no longer possible to think of this as fiction. Investigating further was pointless, since Fedoa region had already disappeared. It was difficult to ascertain the truth of the matter. Now what should we do? HMPH. The nobles worried. Ariel rarely says selfish things. And it was true that the seat of the guardian magician was open. Although Sylphy was originally a commoner, she had certifiable skill as a magician, and knows etiquette even though it is imperfect. The ability is not bad, and because it is not bad, there must be vigilance. One of the Greyrets belongs to the second princess faction. The one who is called Luke, and is symbolically the guardian knight. For Ariel, the Notice are an ally. However, Paul Greyret is a man who threw away his title after some discord with his parents. If they are an enemy of the notice, then consequently there is the possibility that they are an enemy of Ariel as well. Was Sylphy not aware of that when she gave the name of Paul? What was the meaning of that? If she wanted to receive the trust of Ariel, she should not have given out the name of Paul. That's something she should have understood. Then, because she gave that name out, does it imply that they are not an enemy? However, if that's the case in doing so, then who in the world is the mastermind that is pulling the strings of this girl? At least, there is no mistaking that they are indeed an enemy of notice. However, the people who want to be hostile to the large noble family of Ruijerd are few indeed. Saying and doing, it seems all the Ruijerd are identical in that. And so they hit upon something. Of the similar Ruijerd, there was one person unfriendly with Philemon who was the current family head. It was Soros Rudeus Ruijerd. Soros was always backbiting and criticizing that Paul should have become the family head, and not Philemon. However, he was not the type of person who would involve such a young girl in politics. If that's the case, then there is another one. Philip Rudeus Ruijerd. If it is him, then he would crush the second princess whom Notice supports. Someone like him could definitely wind his hand around the strings of this young girl. Soros and Philip, and even Rudeus, they are all missing when the Fedoa territory disappeared. Supposing that they were the ones to cause the metastasis event, under this guise, it was possible to have something moving in the shadows even now. Their first approach might just be a girl named Sylphy. If it's the case that Soros isn't taking part, then the ringleader is Philip. For the sake of entrapping James, who is to be the next family head, there is the possibility he may be acting to that end. For the Rudeus to usurp the seat of the next family head, it revolves around the supportive position of the second princess, and instead they try to become the support instead or something like that. If that's the case, then the Sylphy who has been sent, can be considered an ally. In either case, the person pulling the strings is either Soros or Philip. So the nobles concluded. The groundless suspicion was complete. Then a certain noble had a shocking idea. I know. How about shaking things up by making it look like she's the genius boy Rudeus himself? If Soros moves, it is likely that Rudeus would be with them. If the rumors are true, then the ability Rudeus is said to have is tremendous. It's highly likely that Soros and company are keeping Rudeus on hand as a trump card. Hiding as much of his existence now, for the sake of adorning his future sensational debut. When they appear, Rudeus, as a person with a legitimate blood relationship to Notice, comes out in the absence of those who were too afraid to act. As a powerful piece who then takes part in backing the first prince whom Rudeus supports. Sylphy is assumed to be the person whom they sent. If we reveal her as Rudeus, it may be possible to hinder their plans. If we do some shaking, it may be possible to have them expose themselves. To this, other nobles expressed concern. Wouldn't we be exposed immediately? It may be better to conceal this one's social position by disguising her as a man. Be ready to evade any questions about him as much as possible. But what if she's actually a spy they sent to probe us? Like hell, they will send someone that stands out as a chantless magician as a spy. On the contrary, they might assume we would value her. Either way, it will be easy to leak false information and draw them in. One by one the anxiety was crushed. The nobles began to think that even a worthless plan like this was a good idea. Indeed, if she is a spy, then the fake information leaked will cause unrest in the enemy camp. And if they are unrelated, then we have gained a strong guardian magician without having done any work. And should they instead try and curry favor with us, we'll go along with it. But that's not all. She also resembles the princess in height, so we can tailor her to be a body double. If I remember correctly, we have such a magic item. Oh, a manly form should be made to leave on a regular basis. Since there are suspicious people usually nearby, it will not be thought that it takes the shape of the guardian magician. As expected, the Lord is a clever one, and then, the second princess's guardian magician, Fitz, was formed. The chantless magic using, mysterious genius boy. Because his face has been hidden with sunglasses, no one could perceive his true identity. And the name is strongly associated to the Fedoa territory. There was also a part that alluded to the genius boy who had been serving the Rudeus family as well. However, there is nobody who would understand the true nature and breeding of this one. He should seldom speak, and when he must it should only be for a short while, and any distinctions on its actual gender should be difficult to identify. Such a boy was born. Sylphy had no say in this matter. With the guarantee of one person on the promised arrangement of being able to search for information on the metastasis event, Sylphy was granted no right to veto, and also given no choice. Although she had nowhere to go either, she was coerced into becoming Fitz, pawn of the political power struggle. Thus, at any rate, Sylphy became the guard, Fitz, to Ariel.
That's it guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want more and don't forget to like the videos.